Have you ever heard something through a baby monitor that you knew shouldn't be there? A voice, a whisper, someone speaking inside a house that was supposed to be completely empty. Tonight's story happened while I was babysitting my nephew alone for one night. And to this day, I still don't know who was talking through that monitor. A few months ago, my sister asked me to watch her 1-year-old son while she and her husband went out for dinner with friends. It wasn't unusual. I had babysat there plenty of times before. Their house sat at the end of a quiet suburban street. 2 floors, old wooden stairs, the kind of house that creaked even when nobody moved. I got there around 8 that night. My nephew was already tired and fussy, so I fed him, changed him, and carried him upstairs. By around 10 p.m., he was finally asleep in his crib. Before leaving the room, I turned on the baby monitor sitting on the dresser beside the crib. The small receiver downstairs crackled softly as I tested it. Everything seemed completely normal. I went downstairs, turned on the TV, and stretched out on the couch. Outside, the neighborhood was silent. No cars, no wind, nothing. Around midnight, I started feeling tired enough to fall asleep right there on the couch. That's when I heard static from the baby monitor. At first, I ignored it. I figured the baby had rolled over in his sleep. But then the static changed. It sounded almost like someone breathing into the microphone. Slow, heavy, right against the speaker. I picked up the monitor and turned the volume higher. For a few seconds, there was nothing. Then I heard a man whisper. Shh, don't cry. My entire body froze. The voice sounded calm, gentle even. But it absolutely did not belong in that house. Then the voice spoke again. Mommy will be home soon. I jumped off the couch and ran upstairs as fast as I could. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely hear my own footsteps. I shoved open the baby's bedroom door. My nephew was still asleep in the crib. The room was completely dark except for the small nightlight glowing near the window. No one was there. I had checked the closet first, then under the bed. Nothing. I searched every room upstairs. Bathroom, guest room, storage room. Then I went downstairs and checked the kitchen, garage, and back door. Everything was locked. I even stepped outside and walked around the entire house with my phone flashlight on. There wasn't a single person anywhere. That's when I called my sister. The second she answered, I started panicking. I told her someone had been talking through the baby monitor. Then she suddenly went quiet. A few seconds later, she said something that made my stomach drop. The old monitor shouldn't even work anymore. I stopped breathing for a second. She explained that the monitor in the baby's room had broken weeks ago. They had already replaced it with a new camera monitor connected to their phones. Nobody had used the old monitor since. I slowly turned around and looked toward the upstairs hallway. The old monitor receiver was still sitting in my hand. And through the speaker, I heard movement again. Soft footsteps. Right beside the crib. Then the man whispered one more time. This time much clearer. He's awake. I didn't think. I just ran upstairs. I grabbed my nephew from the crib so fast he started crying immediately. And as I lifted him, I swear I heard breathing directly behind me. Not from the monitor. Inside the room. I ran downstairs carrying the baby and locked myself in the living room. I stayed on the phone with my sister until she got home. We searched the entire house again after she arrived. Doors locked, windows locked. No signs of anyone breaking in. And somehow, the old monitor was still plugged in upstairs. Even though my sister swore she had unplugged it weeks earlier. After that night, they threw the monitor away. The new camera system never captured anything strange. No voices, no movement, nothing. But sometimes, late at night, I still think about that whisper. And I still wonder whether someone was hiding inside that house that night. Or if something else was speaking through the monitor. If you've ever experienced something paranormal or unexplained, tell me in the comments below. And if this story gave you chills, make sure to like the video and subscribe. New scary stories every week.